Buenas tardes, clase. Today you're going to learn about telling time. First of all, there are several useful phrases for talking about the current time. Here's one question that you might ask pretty frequently. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Well, obviously this is asking what time it is, but you could literally translate it as what hour is it, but we'll just say what time is it? Another phrase that you would use is whatever the answer to that question is, okay? For almost all of the time, you would say son las, and then whatever the time is. Except for at, I'm going to put this in a different color so that you remember, except for when it is 1, okay? When it's 1 o'clock, you say es la. So you notice the difference there is the verb. We have son and we have es. Well, that's because this 1 o'clock here, that's singular, that's 1 hour, as opposed to all of the other hours are more hours, technically. So that's how you would answer. We'll look at some more examples of those in a little bit. But first we're going to practice saying a couple different times. Okay, so you would use whatever the time is plus the minutes for saying it. So, for example, I'm going to write some times out here. And then we'll go ahead and write how you would say these times. So for 12 o'clock, it would be son las 12, right? Because 12 is 12. Son las 12. Okay? For 12:11, you would say son las 12, so it's 12, y 11. Okay? So you put that little e in between to indicate that it's the number after the 12. Okay? If it was 12:23, you could say son las 12 y 23, because that's how you say 23. Son las 12 y 23. There are a couple times in English that we use that we say something weird, like sometimes we say it's a quarter afternoon for that, right? Or we might say it's a quarter till 1, okay? When you have like a quarter of an hour, right? So there are different ways that you can say these, just like in English, there's also different ways in Spanish. So one way that we could say it is son las 12 y 15, just like it's saying it's 12:15, right? But they also have a way of saying a quarter, okay? So you could also say son las 12 y cuarto, okay? Cuarto. So this word, cuarto, is like saying a quarter. All right, 12:30. You could say it the easy way. Son las 12 y 30. Okay, or you could say it's 12:30. Okay, so that would be son las 12 y media. So this word at the end, media, that's like saying half. So it'd just be like saying it's 12:30. All right, then we have 12:45. One way we could do that is saying son las 12 y 45. 12:45. Okay. the way that they would do that then would be to actually say it's 1 minus 15. So that would be es la una menos, or minus a quarter, cuarto. Es la una menos cuarto. Okay, now again we have this es la because we're talking about it's 1, and then menos right here means minus, okay, and then cuarto means a quarter, so it's 1 minus a quarter. All right, so those are the different ways that you could do some of those specific times. All right, so a couple more phrases that you might want to know is you could say this: ¿A qué hora es? And then whatever it is that you're trying to ask about. That's like saying, at what time is whatever. So if you're saying, ¿A qué hora es tu clase? At what time is your class? Right? And then you could answer that by saying, a las, and then whatever. So if your class is at 3, you could say, a las 3. Okay, so the first question I taught you at the very beginning was, what time is it? And this is saying, what time is something, like an event, all right? So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and then we'll see how you do. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? That means what time is it? What would you say if it was this time? Well, you would say son las 2:34. Son las 2:34. All right, that's like saying it's 2:34. All right. Now let's do another conversation. ¿A qué hora es tu almuerzo? ¿A qué hora es tu almuerzo? That means, at what time is your lunch? And you could just answer by saying, a las 12:25. What would that time be? A las 12:25. Well, of course, that would be at 12:25. All right? So that's pretty much all of the things that you need to know for telling time. So now you know how to say what time it is and ask what time things are. This will be really useful. Make sure that you're practicing your numbers so that you can use those effectively. And have a good evening. Adios.